Since starting the Fresh Out series, we've been getting tons of emails about prison life. So we decided to start this series to answer all those questions you have. Prison life can be a scary thing if you know what you're walking into. You can end up in a deadly situation or get fucked up. I'm Big Herc, and I served nearly a decade in federal prison. And I've seen and lived through some shitty times. And this is Prison Talk. Another one of our viewers emailed and wanted to know, are drugs really as easy to get in prison like in the movies? Yes, there's a lot of dope in prison. There's a lot of weed, there's motherfuckers smoking crack, there's motherfuckers shooting up heroin, there's motherfuckers doing meth. It's a big business up in there, you know. I'm not gonna elaborate on how it's getting up in there. You can kind of figure that part out, but there's a lot of drugs circulating, whether it be through guards, whether it be through motherfucking visits, and it's popping up in there, you know. I know guys that make a living slanging up in prison and they're balling, you know. It's a big enterprise as far as the drugs in prison, you know. The guards are in on it, the inmates are in on it, and then you got the motherfuckers, family members on the street who are in on it. So it trickles down. Everybody's eating off that. And, you know, the best thing to do is don't get involved with drugs in prison. I've seen motherfuckers get stuck over owing, you know, $100 for an unpaid sack of heroin. I've seen motherfuckers get their wig split over an ounce of weed, you know, trying to smoke weed, and then they know they can't pay and they try to go check in and PC up. Well, let me tell you, you PC up, they pay another motherfucker, he'll go PC up too. And when you go to the shower, he'll pay a motherfucker that'll leave the door unlocked, and when you go to that shower, he gonna stick the shit out of you. So the best thing to do is don't fuck with no drugs in prison, because there's a lot of them, and once you get involved in that shit, you know, it's just a fucked up situation. And you know, people get their lives took, get their wigs split behind drugs, whether it be shooting up, smoking weed, or the homie say, hey man, you want to smoke some weed? See, on the street, you smoke some weed with somebody and go home. In prison, you smoke weed, motherfucker, and you go to your cell. The next day, you're like, hey homie, you smoke half my joint, you got that? You're like, oh, I thought I was just smoking. Nah, motherfucker, this shit costs. So now, when you started, you know, you're thinking, oh man, now you're tied in. And you owe him, and he owes somebody else, and now both of y'all were seen smoking the same weed, you hit. So you gotta be, you know, you gotta think, man. It ain't like you can go do a line of coke and go into your house and tweak the fuck out. No, you do a line of coke up in there, and a motherfucker, like, there's ramifications to that, because most likely somebody knows you did a line of coke, another motherfucker knows you did a line of coke, and now they wanna know where you got the coke from, or if they're your homie, they wanna know why you didn't share. So if you ain't sharing the drugs, you can also get your wig split. So there's a lot of different things up in there where drugs is not the same as getting high on the street. Getting high in prison can cost you your life. So yeah, there's a lot of drugs in prison. It ain't hard to get, but when you start owing motherfuckers, it ain't no hiding. You know, you go check in, they're gonna follow you. You know, your people on the street, motherfuckers might come see your people on the street if you owe enough. So, you know, don't think that, you know, you can just get high up in there and it's just all laxy-daisy. Nah, getting high in prison is a totally different game. So leave the drugs alone if you go to prison.